Hello there, viewers. Good day to you guys. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody had a happy and safe Independence Day holiday over the weekend. No blown up extremities, things of that nature. Hope all is well. How's you guys' hangovers doing? You okay? Good. Today we're starting a new week. It's a fun Monday. We've got a 2019 Subaru Impreza. I think this is what this is. WRX Impreza. What is it? Not a WRX. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. No, not a WRX. Customer states torque down the starter bolts. That's right. I'm not sure what that is about, but they requested that I retorque the starter bolts, knocking dirt off. There's a couple other items they want looked at here. I believe it's tune-up time at 116,693 miles on the odometer. And the customer also states that the the TPMS, tire pressure monitoring system warning message is appearing. We just saw that, but the little TPMS indicator is not on. We'll shut her back down, try it again. Foot off the brake, I'm gonna power it up. Yeah, there's the warning symbol up there, it just disappeared again. Okay, so we're not active all the time with that warning, but it's got the message inside, so let's see what that's about as well. Let's go ahead and get this thing inside of the shop. We're gonna rack it up and get started. Stay tuned, this here is gonna be a very good automotive repair video. Oh, real quick update on that Silverado that came from the dealership. The dealer told him he needed a $4,000 evaporator core. I had that thing charged over the weekend. Like I said, we had a long weekend. I did not work on Friday. We recharged that before the weekend, put it inside, and I did a refrigerant leak detection. That thing sidetracked me, squirrel. I checked it for a refrigerant leak with the leak detector over the weekend and found no leaks. Now, that's important because when I suspect an evaporator core leak, or I'm trying to confirm or deny an evaporator core leak, and I try to use the refrigerant sniffer detector and I cannot, what we will do, or I can't detect it short term, what we'll do is charge the system, seal the car up with the windows up, leave it over the weekend, and that way anything that may be leaking will not vent away. It'll stay contained within the dash area. You can come back in and recheck for the presence of refrigerant then, and sometimes you get better luck. We did that this morning in great detail, and again have found no refrigerant leak on it. So I'm reluctant to believe that the dealership was accurate in their diagnosis. If you'd like to see the long form video of that particular truck over there, I'll leave a link to it up here in the right hand corner and probably down in this video's description. That way you can go back and take a look at what I'm talking about. Anyway, there's our TPMS light. It is now on, so we know there is an issue here. Let's go ahead and get the rack set on this thing. We shall opening the hood as always, and we can get started. All right, let's see which one of these sensors on this unit is not sensing properly. I've got the programming / relearn tool here, and we're gonna scan all of these sensors and see which one is reading and which ones are not reading. Hold this guy up. All right, we've got a reading on that one. We have an ID, good battery. Let's go to the next one. So if all the sensors are working, that means they're just not programmed to the car, or the car lost the sensor ID, or someone started to program it and then stopped halfway through. But it looks like we got a dead sensor here. See that? We're just scanning, not really doing much. Okay, you can give up now. It's not, yep, that one didn't work. So the right front is inoperative. Check the right rear. Okay, that one picked up, so that one's good. Left rear. Let's see what we get here. There's a glare on that screen, hard to see. Bear with me there, folks. I don't think this one's gonna read either. Is it either or either? Which do you prefer to say? I say either. Either sounds stressed and difficult. Yeah, that we're not gonna read this one either. 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 Yep, nope. We have two sensors inoperative on this Rubisu, left rear and the right front. Okay, good to go. Diagnostics complete. Let's power this off and save some battery. There we go, shutting down. Back for that later. Okay, so my guy said something about retorquing the starter bolts down below. Where is the starter? Let's see, there she is. It's not down below, it's out back. Retorquing bolts out back. I see the two bolts, I see witness marks. Looks like someone replaced the starter once. They look tight to me, so that's good to go. All right, since this is a new vehicle to us, we're gonna do a comprehensive inspection on everything. First things first, I'm gonna digitally test this battery. It's a couple years old. They don't make them like they used to. This one's gonna test out fine. Look at that, 12.78 resting voltage, that's up there. How about a lead acid, sealed lead acid 1. There we go, cold cranking amps. Oh, I don't know, let's test it at 650. 640, good battery, beautiful. We need to clean up these posts just a little bit. They're starting to get some corrosion on them, but no big deal. Let's see, washer fluid, we'll fill that up later. Let's check the engine oil right quick. Loud noises. Yeah, it's a little dark, but level's full. This is good. Air filter time. Let's take a peek in here. Look inside those pleats a little bit. That filter's just fine. You don't need to change filters at the slightest amount of dirt. Okay, that means they're doing their job. A lot of times guys will see a slightly dirty, not brand new filter, and they'll try to resell a filter. It's not necessary. Let them get full first and then change them out. Now, these wiper blades, maybe. We're looking for tears on the edges. That's a negative. That's a negative. Check wipe. I don't know what that means. Check wipe. A little yellow thing there. Okay. Ford used to have little ultraviolet sun reactive little dots on their blades, and when they experienced X amount of sunlight, the theory was the sunlight would have dried out the rubber on the blades, and the little indicator told you that it was time to replace the blades. Nobody ever did that. I've never been able to successfully sell a wiper blade because the UV indicator had said that the blade had too much sun exposure. No one's ever bought them. Weirdest thing. It's one of the hardest things in the world to sell is wiper blades on a car. I don't understand. You can sell anything else in the world, but not wiper blades. Anyway, let's run this thing up in the air, take a look at the bottom side of it, see if we can't get a hand on those starter bolts to recheck the torque, and then we will commence with the tune-up operation. Top of the lock, on the lock, there we go. Safety's been achieved. Okay, let's see what we can see down here. Looking good so far. I don't see a bunch of oil, but I do see blown out control arm bushing. You see that? Those are torn up, something fierce. That's no bueno. Check the other side real quick. Yeah, similar condition, dry rotted and torn rubber. So these lower control arm bushings are junk. I will be recommending those for replacement, as well as a wheel alignment to complement the service. Alrighty guys, I have completed the inspection, completed the estimate, phoned the customer, explained to them the deficiencies that I have found, had the fellows pull the wheels off of this to change the TPMS sensors, and now we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, what we're gonna do on this car is gonna be the tune-up. Now, the reason I gave the word tune-up or the phrase tune-up some air quotes is we don't really do any tuning anymore. See, back in the day, you'd have to set your ignition timing, maybe your cam timing, set your points, maybe adjust lifters, things of that nature. That was the tuning part of the tune-up, and you would tune it up. You would tune up the performance. Now, that's all electronically controlled, and the only thing that needs to be tuned is replacing parts that have worn out or things of that nature. But the term still stays. So we're going to be doing the tune-up on this. We're going to be replacing both of these lower control arms here, and we're doing a bunch of fluid services on that. So you may see me jumping like back and forth between tasks. It's not me being scatterbrained, that's just me trying to be efficient here. So what we're going to do We're gonna pull these ball joints out. There's that nut right there. I'm gonna try to do this without taking the axles out. So we're gonna pop the ball joint out, then we can get to the fasteners on the front of the control arm and the one back here where the torn bushings are residing, and we can pull these units out. So let us get started. I think I need looks like an 18mm wrench. Now, there is a way to cheat this repair, and I say cheat because it does everyone a disservice. You can get these control arms right here without the ball joint. See how this ball joint bolts on? You can get it without the ball joint and save a little bit of money, but if you're going through all this work to service the system, you may as well replace that ball joint along with it. And realistically, the price difference between the with ball joints and without ball joints is like $3, so it's like I said, it's a disservice to not replace the ball joints on these. Hey, speaking of disservices, here's a dishonest disservice. Another thing that will happen if you're in a crooked type of shop or a lazy shop, or you got a lazy technician doesn't want to work very hard, what they'll do is they'll buy this control arm assembly with a ball joint, because those are more readily available than the non-ball joint ones. They will unbolt the new ball joint and throw it in the trash, and then they will bolt this control arm to the old ball joint and leave it there, which I find that to be horribly distasteful. I've questioned that practice before, and the answer that I got from service management staff was they paid for a control arm with bushings, not a ball joint. So technically you're fine by not installing the ball joint. And I'm like, man, that's about as crooked's gonna get. But we live in a crooked world full of crooked people. That's how it is. So anyway, we're gonna get this nut off of here, do our best to break this ball joint shank loose from this control arm, or I'm sorry, steering knuckle. Like I said, I'd like to do this without removing the CV axle, but if we have to, we will. We'll see. Yeah, Cassidy was talking to me while I was talking to you guys, and I'm like, brain malfunction. But yeah, what we're gonna do, there's a couple ways I can do that. We can back this nut off, stick a pry bar in there, and then try to pry down on it. Or maybe I might have to unbolt it, leave the ball joint hanging here, and then get some kind of a press in there to pop the thing out. But first, I need to get this nut off. It's a stubborn nut. Doesn't want to get off. I'm gonna break it soon. Hate to bust this and then get stuck in a bad situation with busted nuts. Here, maybe I need some lubricating power here. Get those threads to turn a little bit easier. Okay, so the nut is nearly unthreaded here. I'm gonna shove a pry bar in there and pry against that axle right there and push down on the stud for this ball joint and try to pop the thing out. If I have to, I'll shove a pickle fork in here too and break it out. All right, let's get in there. The threads are nearly all the way out on that ball joint, so I'm gonna come in here with this pry bar. Kind of pry down on it, see what happens. Nope, not gonna work. Not going to happen. So next attempt will be pickle fork action. All right, I think I need to switch gears a little bit. So what I'm going to do, we're gonna pull this bracket plate off at the bottom down here, because I'm gonna take off this bolt and that one here. We're gonna swing this thing down. I'm probably gonna unbolt it from here as well to get clearances. So we've got a series of, what size are all these fasteners here? It's like 15s, 3 of them, 2 21s, and some more 15s over here. So let's pull this panel down. Loud noises. There we go. I probably can leave these on. I'm taking them off anyway. Loud noises. And gravity combined. That was a combo action. One more nut right here. I think that's a 17, 18. Yeah.
Roll-off or sand disc for exhaust manifold gaskets? Or exhaust
neither. Use the super scraper. Yeah, you don't want to put any of those on aluminum because those will take away even the little roll-lock finger looking one. Bring this over here real quick. Let me see him. Yeah, that will take away aluminum. I mean, you can use that on aluminum, but you got to be super light with it. Back there behind on that manifold gasket, you can't get this in there to not put pressure on it, so I would say no with that one. And then these ones, those are more abrasive than these ones.
Well, it's probably going to use it just for like the EGR too.
I mean, yeah, if it's steel, you can use that, but do it light, but use the scraper to clean it off. Not, don't use power tool on it. Okay. That would be not good for long term. Anyway, 19. Yeah, I just got money shot into the face with some suspension schmoo. What is that? It splooged all over me. It's nasty. Disgusting. It's on my chest. What is this? Okay, let's move it forward a wee little bit here. Got one more fastener here. Cracker loose. Yeah. It's spinning. I thought that was welded on. I guess I thought wrong, didn't I? Here, you guys hold this wrench here. Thank you. Walk it out. Beautiful. Ding. Okay, that goes down below in the parts pile. Very good. So now it should be mostly disconnected. Okay, all right. Let's take this these ball joint nuts off. No more beating around the bushes. There we go. Yeah, it's way easier. Okay, got some motion out of my ocean. Everything is a hammer, including the walkie tools. That was bright. Sorry. There we go. One torn up control arm bushing. Now, you guys might ask, why don't you just replace this bushing instead of the whole control arm? Well, that's a numbers game, to tell you the truth. See, this control arm's a couple $100. This bushing is like 40 or 50 bucks. But I have to charge the labor to take it out and put it back in. So that's the same as taking this out and putting a new one back in. But then got 40 bucks on the control arm. Then I got to charge like another half-hour labor to press this in and out, okay? So we're encroaching the cost of just replacing the new control arm with the added labor and the part of that bushing. So rather than do the customer a disservice and charge all this money for one bushing, what we're actually doing is replacing two bushings and a ghost ball joint, which is over here. So we're gonna get that ball joint out, change the ball joint, both bushings, and the control arm while we're at it. That saves labor money. We're converting that over into part money, so the customer gets a better, higher quality level service for a similar price as just doing the bare minimum. Thought that was a horsefly. I see someone lurking. What's up, girlie? Are you here for your mandatory video forced appearance on the internet?
Am.
You are? How are you, dear?
I'm good.
Good job, too. Oh, that was a forced smile. You never, no, that's not a real smile. What's the matter?
Oh, nothing. I'm
She's not happy. What is?
I do a little dance.
Yeah, do a dance. I did a dance for her this morning while I was brushing my teeth. She got super mad at me. She was grumpy.
I was
She was the parents are fighting on the internet in front of the kids. Oh no. Yeah, no, she was grumpy this morning, so I did a dance for her while I was brushing my teeth, and that made her more mad, so she got left. She got in the car and drove off. She was so mad. She can't handle if she's mad and I'm not mad, then she gets more mad at me for not being mad at things she's mad at. That's the mad face. Look at her. That's her mad face. You're faking it. Anyway, what can I do for you today, sweetheart?
Yes, I have a customer here that wants to say thank you for doing a good job on his car.
Oh, wonderful. I love those. I love thank yous and good jobs. I'll be right back, fellas. Intermission. So this ought to get interesting. I have here a pickle fork ball joint separator deal. We're gonna basically shove this thing in, and it's gonna press the ball joint down against the steering knuckle here and try to separate it. The reason it's gonna get interesting is I've taken off all the stuff that keeps this from moving around. So I'm basically smacking into a piece of metal that's hanging. So I'm not exactly certain. Oh no. There's a metal flange on this ball joint and I can't get the tool under it. Okay. Yeah, there's a little metal looking washer deal right there. Try to shove a pry driver under there. This is not how I saw my plan working. Not at all. Let's try a chisel real quick. Maybe I can get under that lip with this thing. Or not. Yeah, that's not working. Well, let's take the nut out of there. Maybe a puller of some sort. Let's try the air hammer. Maybe I can get some motion out of it using this tool. Loud noises. Hey, that worked. All right, got the method down. That was easy, right? So let's see what we have going on here. There's a washer in there that I can't get out. Yeah. Okay, we got a washer. That should probably stay there. And it looks like that thing I was tapping on is like an insert. So we're just gonna leave that stuff alone. Okay. Okay, so now we've got the method. Let's repeat. There we go. Okay, let's get this plate removed. 15s again. Or I grabbed the wrong socket. 14. Loud, just a wee bit. Excellent. I don't know what this is, but it fell out and hit me in the arm. Looks like poop. Nasty. So anyway, one more fastener up there on that front bushing. Let me drop this control arm out. Voila, there she is. Tear right there, and right there, and right there. Beautiful. All right, those guys are out. Let's turn the steering on this. That's not gonna work, it's locked in. We'll just go at it from the back side over here. There we go. Let's go ahead and pull the little clip out of it. Save that for later. Oh, I didn't think that through. I should have broke this nut loose a long time ago. There. I was afraid I was going to pull the CV joints apart. I had to push with one hand and push it all together and use the other hand to apply reverse torque to this nut. There. I'll be here for a minute. Almost. There's the nut. Got it. Impact hammer. Seriously? Okay. Well, since this one's not coming out like the other one did, I'm gonna try the same thing. I'm gonna try to chisel on this insert thing a little bit. See if that helps to loosen up that stud. There we go. That worked. Weird. Alrighty, let's let this thing down. Go off on another tangent. The control arm replacements will not arrive here until tomorrow morning. They're in Tampa, but I missed the order for the truck today, so I won't get those today. So now we're just gonna switch gears, no pun intended, and we're gonna move on to the spark and plug section of this repair. So we'll let the car down, get easy access under the hood, set the locks up one more time. There we go. Okay, now it's time for the fun part. We're gonna dig the spark plugs out of this. This is a 4-cylinder boxer engine. So you know how normal 4 cylinders, they're just in line, 1, 2, 3, 4? Well, this is a boxer, meaning the cylinders kind of box against each other. It's a flat 4. So there's 2 cylinders here, 2 over here. They're sideways mounted, so the pistons run left and right, and they box towards each other, hence the boxer configuration. Well, because of that, they're kind of hard to get to, so we need to remove all this stuff here and all this stuff over here to get down there to get to the plugs. I may actually have to remove the engine mount and jack the engine up some too to get a hold of the back one over there. That looks to be the hardest one. So first things first, we're going to pull this battery out of here, get it out of the way, free up some space, and then kind of go from there. Get this guy disconnected here. That will do. The cable is connected to the hold down post. This little plastic deal. That doesn't want to come out, but that's okay. We will just apply some leverage. Like a seesaw. go. Oh, no, you don't. The J hook hooks to the bottom, the nut holds down the top thing. And that's what secures this unit. Take that, put it back in the hole, set this aside, and the battery and all of its corrosion can come right on out. Very good. So, the plastic tray, don't need that right now. And then, yeah, I think I can kind of reach. Yeah, the plugs are down there. There's the front one, but the back one, that one's the bare. So what I think I'm going to do is remove this bracket business right here. It should just be a couple 10 mils. There's one of them. Second one, I almost can't see it. No, actually I really can't see it, but I can feel it. Come out. There's that bolt. And that gave me not much space at all to play with. But now I can see that other coil wire. Okay, so those coils, those are held down with the 10 millimeter. There's one 10 mil bolt in each coil. I'm gonna pull the bolt out, disconnect the connector, pull the coils out, then we can get a hold of the plugs, I think. Here, pull the little clip off of it. I don't know if I had to disconnect that and remove it entirely from the connector, but I did. It still doesn't want to let go. Okay. That's tight. Wow. One nut. So I didn't have to disconnect this coil at all, but I'm going to because I need to figure out how the buttons work on that connector. Bear with me here. I think that metal thing is all I had to do. Yeah, just that little metal clip deal. And the connector just kind of pops off. I know you guys can't see down there very well, but there's one ignition coil right there. And now we can get to the hole for the spark and plug. Hey, take a look at this configuration. 14 millimeter spark plug socket with 1.5 inch extension on a universal on a 9-inch extension. I think, yeah, there we go. Now we're on it. Let's back our first plug out. Okay, spark plug stayed. Going back in. There she is. What do we have here? The carbon tracking, it's been there a while. It's an NGK. Yeah, I see some buildup on the tip right there. It is time. Time based on mileage. So, here's our new one. Another NGK, I didn't put in cheapos. These things are like 30 bucks a piece. I guess they're called a high intangibility spark plug. That indicates that they're designed for a faster flame travel.
Meanwhile,
We've come a long way since we just used copper, haven't we? It used to just be all copper and that was that. But now, we've got radioactive electron carrying material in our spark plugs. I don't know if it's radioactive, but could be. Of course, that's why we have cars that make 400 horsepower from the factory now and not 162. Coming up on torque. Click. One is done. Good to go. Coil boot right here. Let's give it some schmoo. Dielectric grease. Plug this guy back in. Actually, I want to put, I'm going to leave that out for now because I don't want to put this in without the connector on it, but I don't want to put it in and then leave the connector off because I may have to have the coil out to get the connector on. Does that make sense? Good. Okay, so next we're going to try to get that nasty one back there in the hole. You guys see that down there? I'm going to try to dig that one out. Probably no power tools. This is going to be hand tools only. So here, let's go in with a 10. We'll crack the bolt loose. That doesn't even fit. We need a low profile 10. Here, let's try a ratcheting wrench first. This one has a bit of an offset to it. See that? And that might get us around the corner. Yeah, barely. Yeah, no. It's not going to work either. Maybe here. Come on. I wish they made these in a shorter version. These are all extra long. Sometimes the extra longness gets in the way. You just need a shorter one. I live my life a quarter turn at a time. There we go. Do the arm twist. Try to get a finger on that. I'll show you why I'm doing the arm twist in a second. My hand's upside down. I need finger clearance. See that? If you don't see that, there's a flashlight in the way. Bear with me, let me get the bolt out, I'll show you. Arm upside down, twisted and contorted. That way, I can get my fingers at the right angle on the fastener. See that? Whoop. So we need some space. I'm gonna pull this harness up. Let's stick it over here. Yeah, now I can see that guy down there. Oh no, 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 we're not losing that. I'm not even gonna disconnect the cable on that coil. Not even. Okay, so we got the socket, the extension. Stick that in there. Fish it around the corner. If I can get it in the hole. Nope. Coils in the way. I meant to do that. No worries. Hit the ground. My magnet recovered it. All right, it's in. Wow. That's like flush with the head.
Okay.
How much was it?
Okay, so the dealership.
She's mad. She's big mad.
Okay, so they didn't know who I was. And so I went up, I was a regular customer, and so I got the ticket for the repair, and it was almost $2,100. And I said, well, I was quoted $1,340, and this was supposed to be this amount, I wasn't supposed to be charged for this, and this was like, so they charged me for a part $700 markup.
Yeah.
That is astronomical.
Do we pay them more than what they quoted us?
I didn't pay them. I spoke with the manager. I said, no, you guys quoted me 13 something or other, and you gave me a ticket for $2,100, and so I was waste my time, but you know, but they said,
really.
Oh, we didn't know that you were, or the service advisor didn't know that you were Ray's Auto Clinic and they charged you customer pricing. And I'm like, so you're charging customers $700 extra
You have no
for
idea.
a part?
You have no idea what the markup is.
It is insane.
Yeah, I know.
We barely mark up anything.
I mark up to meet retail price, not double it.
And their retail price, okay, so the part was $9.96. They said retail is 12 something, but then on my ticket it said 16.60 something. So it was $400 extra what retail was.
Wow.
Yeah.
So so let me guess. The service department bought the parts from parts department at retail.
It was $996.
And then they marked it up.
They marked it to 16.60 something, but they told me retail was 12.60 something.
So they tried to
So they marked it up an extra $400.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, that's
$700 markup.
Yeah, I know. Why do you think dealerships have 75-acre lots with 37 buildings on it with 700 employees in there, all making a minimum wage?
Like, that is just...
You're not wrong, dude. It's not fair.
But $700, that's twice what they put. That's nuts.
I know. I know. Welcome to the service industry, my dear. Anyway, we're taking out spark plugs. Intermission over. That was a Lauren story time. Glad you're all nice and fired up, though. It's good to see you pissed off and not at me.
I've been this way since I woke up.
I know. You woke up choosing violence.
I woke up waking you up and
yeah.
the kids ready.
Love you.
Let's
You're
go.
good.
All
right, let's get after it.
So I need to get a little creative with this. So what I'm going to do, I don't have another little spacer, this 3/8 drive. So I put a 1/4 inch to 3/8 adapter on there. And we'll try to use that with another extension to space this out. Yeah, let's try this configuration. We got spacers stacked on top of spacers. And I still can't get that thing in the hole. In there. Is this gonna work? Sure. There. Uh-oh. Stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stupid. Oh no. My tool setup is now stuck in the chassis. That's fantastic. Yeah. Push the button, pull it apart. There we go. Kind of got it. So now, switch to a shorter ratchet. Oh, that was loud. The garage door coming up. I meant to do that. Don't worry. Did that on purpose. Now I see why this is supposed to take 2.5 hours. Change these spark plugs. Longest 4-cylinder tune-up ever. Come on. Okay, let's try to speed this up some. No. I give up on the power tools. Slow and steady is gonna win the race. Slow and steady. Almost. I can feel it getting more looser. This hurts my index finger knuckle because I'm jamming it against the frame right here. Might do the twisty arm thing again. Yep. It's my life, quarter turn at a time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course it's not coming out. I can feel it. It's flipping, flopping. All right. Let me get it out with a magnet. Or not. There it is. Got it. Yeah, we have a similar condition spark plug as the other side. Carbon tracking on it. And the electrode's worn out. Very good. So I believe this was the most difficult plug to replace on the car here. I hope it's all kind of downhill from this point. Let's get this last one in. Uh-oh. Don't fall. I need to put the plug in the hole and then follow up with the tools. So you have to go around that corner. There we go. It's in. Arm twisty thing. Let's tighten it back up. Is there a 15 on that charger? Hey, come back. Do a 30 amp for about 5 minutes, and then step it down to 10, and then step it down to 2. Remember the analogy about the marbles in a jar? Yep. That's in reference to a theory that I repeated about charging a battery that was fully dead.
The National Weather Service has issued a severe bullshit warning. Doppler radar indicates a line of bullshit heading into our current listening audience. Once again, the National Weather Service has issued a severe bullshit warning.
And I said, think of it like this. Pretend you got a jar and you want to fill it full of marbles, and you've got all different sizes of marbles. You got big marbles, little marbles, microbial marbles, gigantic marbles, etc. And I said, you want to get the maximum amount of marbles in the jar. And I likened the jar to the battery and the marbles to the electrons. So I said, when you want to fill your jar, start with some big marbles first. So you want to give it a bunch of a charge at a higher amp for X amount of time. That's going to be your big marbles. Then you want to fit in your smaller marbles after that. So you'll step down your charge level a little bit, charge it for X amount of time with some medium marbles, like 15 amps or 10 amps. And then after X amount of time, you can turn down the amperage to a lower amp and fill the rest of the jar with small marbles. The theory being is that the jar will hold more marbles if you put the big ones in first, then the medium ones, and then the little ones. But if you put all the little ones in first, then you can't put any big ones in there. Now I realize that electrons are not marbles, and I'm sure that what I had said is up for debate, but I was told long, long ago that that was the ideal way to charge a lead acid battery, and I just had to use that method. Whether or not that's true or not is actually irrelevant, because if it's not true, then the battery will come up to a full charge, and if it is true, then the battery can only come up to a more fuller charge. So there's really no downside in doing it that way, I suppose. So anyway, put some torque on this spark plug and get that coil back in. Bear with me, I gotta hold the head of this thing straight so I don't put a side load on the plug itself. There we go, that's tight. So I need to get a tool to recover my tool. There we go. Same tool to recover the tool. Beautiful. All right, I'm going
Going back in one more time. We're gonna give this thing a little squirt. Plug it back in. There we go. Now, if I remember, I had to flex that boot to dig this out, so we'll flex it going back in. Yeah, there, it's beautiful. Perfect. Plug it in. It's not plugging. Okay, it is plugging, it's just unplugging itself after I plug it. Okay, there's our 10 bolt for the coil. Put that guy in. Hope you guys can see. I'll try to zoom this in when I edit.
It's a 315.
Yeah?
So I guess if we plug out, might as well just go.
Yeah? You're gonna leave? You're gonna finish putting that car together before you go? You wanna do that? Like, yeah, throw those O2s in there and do your thing. Just get to a good stopping point and then you can log out, go home. Leave early. Since you skipped lunch skipper. Coming in for some long reach. Okay, I guess it's tight now. Yay! All right, that one's in. Let's grab our next unit. Now, I insisted on not plugging this in until I had the rest of that back together. So let's put the clip back on it and get connected. This is hard to do. And slightly harder to do on camera. But we can do it. Okay, clip is clipped. Connector has been dropped. That's normal protocol. Drop it again. There we go. I wonder how many fingers I can fit inside of this one little hole. That didn't sound right. Okay, that's connected. Good. Here's our bolt. Wow. Okay, halfway done. Let's do the not so hard side, I think. Yeah, I can see both of those coils. This is easy. Yeah, chuck this battery back in real fast. Here, let's clean up these nasty posts real quick. Wire brush. Pretty. Very good. Ooh, that's nasty. Let's make it nice and shiny. Negative side. Shiny. Very good. Okay, battery electron storage containment unit. All right, let's give this some spray.
gonna soak up into that corrosion, break it down. Help clean all this stuff off. We'll come back to this later and make it more shinier. You know, this stuff used to be yellow. This can's like 2 years old, but I remember this battery terminal spray cleaner stuff used to be yellow when I sprayed it. Now it's white. I wonder if it's worn out and old, it doesn't work anymore. Okay, so over here on the passenger side, we're going to need to remove the air box assembly. So we're gonna pull that filter back out. I need a screwdriver over there. Clamp at the throttle body. All right, band clamp screwing driver. Small butterfingers. Take this business right here. Oh, it's got cables stuck. Hang on, bear with me. Let me unclip this bad unit. Come here. Leave that right there. Very good. That's what we're looking for. More ignition coil. Okay, ignition coil bolt removal procedure begins now after I drop this flashlight. Yeah. Ow. Excellent. And that one down there, we have to go around a corner a little bit. Oh, I think my yacht rock's turned up too loud. I'm about to get a copyright. Yeah, turn that down some. Too much yacht rock. It's for one day. I want to get a boat. So I'm picking up my playlist. My son likes fishing. And I miss boating. I have a boat problem though. See, I got these rules. You can only get a bigger boat. You guys remember Jaws?
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Well, I have lived that life and I have found that it's better to get bigger boats when replacing a boat. So my last boat was 26 feet, so my next boat's got to be 30 feet. So I need a bigger boat. But the problem with bigger boats is they come with bigger budgets, and I don't know if I want to spend that kind of boat budget on a boat. I don't live near the water anymore. So because of my proximity to the Gulf and my need to have a bigger boat, it suggests that my next boat be the type that just sits in the water all the time at the marina. But I don't have the time of my life for that kind of a boat, so I'm really at an impasse. And it would also be nice to have a boat with an air conditioner, you know, like those trawler types. You can just kind of sit on them all day. You don't have to really drive it. It's more like a floating condo. But I'd like to have one of those one day. Something with a pair of diesels inside with a generator, has an air conditioner, you know, a kitchen slash galley kind of deal. And the magnet again. Spark plug removed. All right, home stretch on this last unit in the back, I think. Let's get this guy out on clickage. Very good. Oh, I can fit a power tool in this time, I think. Speed this business up. Or not. Thought I could fit it. We'll do it in stages. Magnet on a stick. Plug is removed. Very good. So earlier we were talking about copper cord plugs and these high intangibility, rhodium, platinum, unobtainium, whatever they make the metals out of on the electrodes these days. And people always ask when I throw these spark plugs in, why are you not gapping them? And the answer is those are pre-gapped, because the metals on the end do not tolerate gravity. The metals on the end do not tolerate being jammed with a feeler gauge or a spark plug gapping device in order to gauge the thickness of them. You'll scrape them, scratch them, or break the little tip off of the end of the plug. And it is specifically forbidden to gap those types of plugs. Now I realize with the old copper core plugs, you had to gap them or check the gap or adjust the gap, things of that nature. But on these new high-end spark plugs, gapping them is not required or suggested. Which is why I did not check it with a gap, or check it with a gapping tool. Now I know people will say, well, you can check it anyway, or at least check it and verify it, but you really don't have to. I've never, ever had one of those types of plugs that wasn't dropped, that did not have visible packaging damage. I've never had to concern myself with the gap on those types of plugs, so I don't. A bit of torque here, kick. All done, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your day, my friend. Catch you in the morning. Kicks.
That's good.
Yeah, nobody had lunch today, so now they're all leaving early. There we go. 2 bolts. Okay, that one started. Okay. Tight. And last one. I'm so excited. Successful day. Click. Ah, blinded by the light. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Didn't realize my flashing light had changed directions like that. So that's the tune-up portion of this. As I mentioned earlier, we do not have the replacement control arms here just yet. So because of that, there's not a snowball's chance we're going to finish this car today, because I don't get parts until the morning. So it looks like I may end up making this a 2-parter. What do you guys think? Would you like to see the installation of the control arms, or would you rather have me move on to something else? I don't do a lot of Subarus, so I imagine that the Subaru crowd here is really going to appreciate it. And in fact, let me ask you guys a favor right quick, since we're nearing the end of the video here. I was talking about how many Subaru guys we have. Let me know in the comment section down below your list of cars that you currently own. Not past cars, not future cars, but what you have right now. I'm kind of trying to feel out the audience to see what vehicles you guys are driving versus the vehicles that I'm servicing here. Because I'd like to service more vehicles that you guys actually own, and not just random things. Or at least it gives me a direction or some baseline fundamental knowledge. So if you could comment down below on what you drive, I would very much appreciate that. So anyway, guys, that being said, I think I'm all done here with this one. We've got to hook a battery up, spray some more cleaner on it, not in that order, wash this off. Tomorrow I'm doing an oil change. We're going to put the control arm things back in. We did some brake work on it in the rear, adjusted the drums for the parking brake, and we have done a differential fluid service on this. Yeah, let me know in the comments what we're going to do about the second potential part 2 on this particular automobile. And having said all that, I think I have nothing more to offer you. So I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. As always, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. See you guys in the next one. Appreciate you watching. In a video, in a day, in a transmission.